Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Empress Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. The day will come when you recognize that forgiveness is the only way back to the center of your innocence. Iyanla Vanzant. If this is your first time here, I am Empress Imani, inspirational teacher of Sacred Love Lessons. I help women to honor the love within so they too can manifest the life of their dreams. We're in season 4, The Art of Being You, 46 Laws of Spiritual Power, and today we're covering Law 28, Forgive It All. Our objective today is to forgive without an apology from others. Yes, you heard me. To forgive without an apology from others. If you're waiting for someone to apologize before you forgive them, you are giving your power away. It took me a while to learn this lesson. I'll be truthful and transparent. Forgiveness is not a strong point for me, okay? It takes me a while to process the information. I need time to go over it, not only in my mind, in my body, but also in my spirit, to sankofa what happened. So it takes me a little while. The old me could hold a grudge for years, and if I saw you, I was very confrontational on sight. Very confrontational. I'm not like that anymore, okay? I don't turn up on people like that anymore. I've been lied to, cheated on, abandoned, and abused. I know my story is nothing special, and I know that a lot of you in the world have also experienced it, or you're experiencing it right now. Some of the people were in my family. Some of them were lovers. Some of them were people who I thought were friends. Some of them were spouses. Some of them were colleagues. Some of them were people that I admired and looked up to. I first asked myself, once I was able to calm down, in what ways have you lied to, cheated on, abandoned, and abused yourself? Oh, yes. I had to put the mirror in my own face, okay? So that was the first thing that I did, and that's what I do now, right? I first had to forgive myself. I had to learn how to forgive myself because my initial intent was to beat myself up, asking myself, why didn't you listen to your intuition? Or you are a seer, you're supposed to see. Why didn't you see this coming? How could you be mistaken? Was it your energy that you picked up on? There were times where I didn't listen. There were times where I ignored the red flags. There were times where I could see the goddess in someone, and I just would focus on that and ignore the fact that they were living in their shadow. And so I would ignore red flags. And sometimes I would ignore my intuition, and I would get myself into situations, and then I would get upset with myself. First myself, then others. So I was just beating myself up, you guys, to sum it all up. Forgiveness is a complex process that can be difficult to embrace, even if the person who hurt you apologizes. Is it possible to forgive without an apology? The answer is yes. Yes, it is possible to forgive someone without an apology. If you're dealing with someone who refuses to apologize, or maybe the person who offended you is no longer in this dimension, you too can still forgive. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. It is the key to your freedom. Now, you know, when you're young, people don't tell you this, right? So when something happens, you're all, in your feelings, you're upset, you're angry, you're hurt, you're disappointed. Sometimes you're confused, right? At the other person, you're blaming the other person or other people. When you're unawakened, you're not looking at yourself in the mirror, so you can't see yourself. But once you come into the light and once you can see, then you understand that what is happening in your outer world is a reflection of what's going on in your inner world. Then you start going inside and reflecting more on yourself. I'm going to share some tips with you today on how to forgive without an apology because I have mastered this lesson. The first thing that you want to do is allow yourself to feel the emotions, especially if you're an intuitive, an empath, a highly sensitive person. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, and emotions initially can feel overwhelming. So just allow yourself to feel it. You don't need to judge it. If you feel sad, just feel it in that moment. Take a deep breath, breathe through it. I've learned that this helps me when I'm in a situation where I can really feel the emotion. Just breathe through it. If you start feeling anger, just breathe through it. If that's not working for you, if you're breathing and you're like, Imani, look, I'm breathing and the breathing is not working, Say to yourself, if you can, say it out loud. If you cannot, just say it in your mind. I am peace, and I have the power to be peace in every moment. I am peace, and I have the power to be peace in every moment. Peace is your birthright, okay? And no matter what situation you're in, where you are, who's around you, what's happening, you should be at peace. And you have the ability and the power to be at peace where nothing or no one can move you off your square. I remember reading this story, and I don't remember the names or where I read it, but I just vaguely remember in my mind that there was this story where this was during like World War II, when the Jews were being rounded up and they were being killed. They were being assassinated. And so they were in a concentration camp. And they said there was this one guy that no matter what happened every day with them, he was always at peace. He was being the light no matter what happened. He was in the energy of peace. And by him being the light and allowing his light to shine, he helped other people survive. Now, in the end, he didn't make it. But by him being the light, the survivors were able to live and tell this story like, had it not been for this earth angel that just remained calm, remained peaceful, kept shining his light every day, no matter what those people did to them, they wouldn't have made it. So peace is your birthright. It is yours. That is a power that you have within you. And no matter what someone outside of you is saying, no matter what they're doing, no matter how many student loans you have to pay or the bills that are due, no matter where you are in this world, no matter the circumstances of this world, you have the power to be peace in every moment. That's where I am right now, you guys. When things come up, that's what I say to myself. I breathe. I allow myself to feel the emotions. Don't try to suppress your anger, sadness, or hurt, because that'll just make it worse. When you suppress your emotions, your body holds on to that. Your mind is sending that information to your body, and then that energy, because emotions are energy in motion, and that energy will get trapped inside your body. And then when the body gets overflowing with that, it'll manifest sometime in an illness. Sometime you'll have anxiety. Sometimes it can disrupt your nervous system, okay? So let it out. You know, if you need to go for a walk, if you need to go exercise or do something like that, if the breathing is not working, if you're speaking your words and then still not working, go for a walk. They actually have these places now, they're called rage rooms, where you can go and just smash things. If you need to go do something like that, go do that, but allow that energy to flow out of you. Your emotions are valid and they need to be acknowledged. When you suppress your emotions, this energy is, like I said, is stored in your body and it can manifest in illness. Number 2, talk to someone you trust. The key word in this sentence is trust, because not everyone is worthy of your secrets and not everyone is trustworthy. So talk to someone you trust. Talking about what happened with the intent to reach forgiveness can help you process your emotions and heal. This is not a time to have a pity party. That's one party that I do not go to. I don't go to pity parties. If you own one and you want to be a victim, I'm not the person that you call, okay? You want to be healed, you want some help, you want some light, then you reach out. But if you're being a victim, we don't do that over here, okay? So the point here is to be heard, to be seen, and to have your pain witnessed. Sometimes you just want someone to listen, right? No advice, no interjection, just listen, active listening, so you can just get it out. So sometimes you just need a witness, okay? And that's another thing you can call me for. If you just need someone to witness your pain, I can do that for you. For me, I talk to my spiritual team in other realms. At this point, I wanted the raw, unfiltered, untainted truth. I needed help, so I activated my spiritual team. Number 3, shift your mindset and see the situation from a higher perspective. Now, this was also a challenge for me, okay? And I'll explain why in just a moment. What is your higher self saying to you? My higher self, this is what she told me. Okay, she said, you signed up for this experience as a part of your soul contract. The other person is a part of your soul tribe and agreed to play this role in your life so you can learn your lessons. I was like, what? Oh my God. She further went on to explain to me that you have karma to pay back and all unbalanced energy must be returned. How do you guys think I'm able to tell you and to share this information with you? It's because I've gone through it. I've experienced it, right? I came into this dimension with karma that I had to pay back. And I'm not quite sure what all I did in my past lives, but yeah, I was playing a different role then than I am today. And I clearly understand the role that other people have played in my life. I mean, think about it. If you're going to be the teacher, you got to be taught. Well, how are you taught? You got to learn those lessons. How do you learn the lessons? You learn the lessons through experience. That's how you gain the wisdom. You know, anybody can read a book, anybody can tell you whatever, and then you just acquire knowledge. But in order to obtain the wisdom, you got to go through it. So in order for me to know how you feel, okay, when someone betrays you, when your spouse cheats on you, when you grow up in an abusive home, in order for me to reach out to you to help you get clear on where you're going, I had to have experienced that myself. In order for me to be a divine light carrier, a divine light bearer, I had to go through those experiences. That's how I'm able to share with you today. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep it 100. When my higher self sat with me and explained that to me, I didn't want to hear it. Okay, I wasn't trying to hear that. I wasn't trying to hear what she was trying to say. I was crying. It was the ugly cry. Okay, I was crying. I was very angry. Anger has been an issue that I've had to work out in my life. I was very angry, and I wanted to take action because I'm that type of person. I'm from Texas, and in Texas we come see you, and I wanted to go see some folks. Okay, I wanted to speak power to truth and put boot to ass. That's where my head was in that moment, in my emotions. But I had to bring it down. I had to have an ego death. I had to tell self, that's not how you handle things. That's not what we're doing here. If you want the fruit, the reward on the other side, you got to go through this process. You got to die to yourself. And so I had to die. Part of me had to die. When we talk about release dead weight, this is one of those things that I'm talking about. Limiting beliefs. Old things that you thought, okay, this is what it was. It wasn't that, okay? The perception that you have where you're like, people are, intentionally trying to hurt me. And maybe in their mind, maybe they think, okay, they think, yes, I'm trying to hurt you, money. But the higher self, my goddess self, my God self is saying, no, babe, you signed a contract. All y'all sat down and agreed upon this before you even came here. And maybe they're still unawakened and they don't understand that right now. That's why when you go through this process, you have to separate yourself from people. Especially if they're still unawakened, you have to separate yourself from them until they can come into the light as well. I still love them. And that's how I'm able to love. That's how I'm able to love people who hurt me, abused me, lied on me, cheated on me. They all know it. That's how I'm able to still be the light. When you see things from a higher perspective, life is much better. You experience more peace. You just laugh. There's one thing that I do all the time. That movie, Point of No Return, when she says, I just laugh and I say, I never did mind the little things. So now that's what I do. I just laugh. I never did mind the little things. But I remember when I was going through this process, my ego was defensive and I felt like I had something to prove. I felt so conflicted and my emotions were like screaming and yelling and pulling at me. I felt like someone was just pulling my skin and my hair just all over. In that moment, all I could think about is, above all else, I want to see things differently. I want to see what's true, loving, kind, and real, instead of the false thoughts and images that I have projected onto the world and myself. That's A Course in Miracles, lesson 28. I have read about that. But in that moment, that's all I could think. I knew I was living in an illusion and I wanted to break free. Above all else, I want to see things differently. And I asked my spirit team, please help me. Please help me. Please show me what I need to see. Allow me to know what I need to know. Allow me to discern what I need to discern. And they did. So you have to shift your perspective. And that may be a challenge for you. I know it was for me. If you're a strong-willed person, the way I am, yeah, that might be a challenge for you. The next thing that you have to do is try to understand why the person hurt you. Initially, you may want to clap back. You want to have some get back, okay? But try to understand why the person hurt you, because not everything is what it appears to be. This doesn't mean that you have to agree with their actions or maintain a relationship with them, but it can help you to see the situation from their perspective. We hear a lot of hurt people, and this is true. A lot of times people have been hurt, they have been traumatized, they become guarded, they feel like I gotta get people before they get me. They start seeing the worst in humanity. And I understand. Some people suffer from trauma and unhealed wounds. They may be behaving from an unhealed and unawakened state. We often expect people to be like us, to think like us, and they don't. We assume that the person can give us what we're seeking. Many cannot, and some who can won't. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. All of us have fallen short in one way or another. We have intentionally or unintentionally offended, trespassed, or hurt someone on this planet, in this life, or the last. All of us have needed forgiveness at one point or another. You get what you give. If you want forgiveness, you must be willing to forgive others. That's the law of reciprocity. The law is the law. It cannot be any other way. And then you have to make a decision to forgive. If you see in the timeline, this one is later on because you have to process your emotions. You have to go talk to someone that you can trust where you can get that out. Even if that someone is your higher self or your spiritual team, right? You have to go talk to someone. And then you have to shift your perspective so you can see things from a higher perspective. So you can see how the other person is feeling and thinking and what they're going through. You have to look in the mirror at yourself because the law of correspondence says that what's going on the inside of you happens on the outside of you. It's so above, it's so below. It's so in, it's so out. It can be no other way. That is the law. You have to make a decision to forgive. Don't play with me. That's how I feel. Don't play with me. If you have not made a decision to forgive, if you have not made a decision to do the work, we have nothing to talk about because that's the only work we're doing in this episode is forgiving, right? Forgiving it all, forgiving yourself and forgiving everyone else, forgiving it all. Make a decision. Forgiveness is a choice. You can choose to let go of the anger and resentment you feel, even if the person who hurt you does not apologize. Because there's some people out here, y'all, low down dirty. Know they dogged you and will not say sorry. Okay? They won't apologize. Because why? They're not sorry. And that's something that you have to accept and just move forward. First, forgive yourself. When you're in unforgiveness, the only person that you're hurting is yourself. The other person has moved on and you're stuck in the past, bound to an unfortunate situation. What person in their right mind would put themselves in prison and stay there? Let that marinate. Just imagine. You got a person that go down to the county or go down to the state real prison, right? Get the key, go in the cell, and lock themselves in the cell in the prison. What person in their right mind would do that? But we do that all the time when we're in unforgiveness. And I know for years, I had myself bound. I'm mad at other people. They don't went on with their life. Okay. I'm mad at other people. They don't even know why I'm mad. Some of them didn't even know that they had even offended me because I hadn't even expressed that to them. I'm just looking at them ready to turn up, right? You have the key to release yourself from prison. And I'm going to give you one key right now. Forgiveness prayer. This is a Buddhist prayer of forgiveness. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through my own confusion, I ask for their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through their own confusion, I forgive them. And if there is a situation I am not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate doubt, belittle myself, judge or be unkind to myself through my own confusion, I forgive myself. I'm going to post this prayer at 46lawsofspiritualpower.com. You can go over it. You can download it. It'll be there for you. This is something that I highly recommend, that if you need to forgive someone, whether they apologize or whether they don't, but you're having a challenge releasing the anger, releasing the resentment, if you're having a challenge moving past what happened, this prayer will help you. Okay? The next thing is don't expect the person to change. Okay? Most people are unawakened. They are part of the great sleep. They don't even see themselves, okay? Let alone see the need that they need to change. They don't even see it, okay? So for you, those who have awakened, Those who are aware, don't expect the person to change. Forgiveness is about you. It's not about the other person. Don't expect them to change their behavior or to apologize. Everyone is free to be themselves, and so are you. You are free to leave the relationship. You are free to tear up and terminate the soul contract. I did that. Praise God on that. You are free to rewrite the soul contract and reconcile. It's up to you. The power, you have the power. You have the key to the situation. And a lot of times this world will tell you that you don't. This world will make you feel weak. But the truth of it is, no one can make you feel anything. Even in that, you still have the power. Okay? You still have the power. Never be afraid to let people go. If they're not right, often that's the only way you can make room for the right person. Stuart Wilde. Sidebar. If you're in an abusive relationship, seek help immediately from a trusted source or your local police authority if that's an option for you. Because I know a lot of times the police can't be trusted either. Okay? So go to a trusted source, but get out immediately. Next, you want to focus on the good. Think about the good attributes of the person, the good attributes of the relationship. What lessons did you learn from the relationship or the experience? How can you transmute and transform your pain into wisdom? A little bit about Sacred Love Lessons. Everything that I'm teaching has come from my own pain, my own wisdom. I am embracing wolf spirit, where we turn pain into purpose. If you had asked the old me, if your spouse cheated on you, do you think you could forgive him and still be cool with him? I probably would have been like, hell no. When it happened, oh yes, it did happen. When it happened, I felt like my skin was burning with napalm. I was so overwhelmed in my emotions. I was so hurt because I had always looked at the good in people. When I felt betrayed by people that I looked up to, people that I had admired, and I found out these people never liked me. These people didn't give two shits about me. These people just were using me, stealing my work, trying to be like me, trying to copy me, and could care less about me. I didn't think I could love again from that. You know, when I look at people that, people say family, I don't share the same perspective on what that is. I think family is what you create, I know you come in with a biological family. I know we have ancestors, but I think family in this 3D realm is what you make. Not all of us come from that Leave It to Beaver background. Not all of us come from that. And even in that, I've been able to forgive my abusers. I've been able to say love and light. I've been able to still share my love and light with people who hurt me. Okay? Now, there were a lot of people I let go. Okay, let's be clear. A lot of people had to go. A lot of people got blocked. You blocked online, that's still blocking real life. Don't call, don't come by. We good. I send my love and light to you. I forgive you. It's okay, right? I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I just see things from a higher perspective. I can see now when people are unhealed and there's wounds there and they're just merely acting out. I can see that their behavior is a result of those wounds. So what I do now is I just focus on the present. And that's what I'm advising you. Focus on the present. Don't dwell on the past. It happened, right? Okay, it's over. And then once it's over, once you've sank cold, you look back, you did some introspection, some retrospection, you've learned the lesson. Now you've embraced wolf spirit. You've turned the lesson into purpose. We got wisdom now. You just move forward. You focus on in this moment. In this moment. Where are we in this moment? Don't dwell on the past. Forgive the person. Release the person in love and light. Then move on with your life. Freedom is in the present moment of now. When you ascend even higher, you'll learn that all we have is right now. All we have is now. That's it. Now. Focus on you, your dreams, your purpose. Focus on now. I'll leave you with this final thought. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself. It may take time and effort to forgive someone who has hurt you, but it is possible to do even without an apology. You have the power to free yourself. The key is within you, and the power is yours. If you would like to tap more into the energy of forgiveness, you can book a clarity coaching session with me at houseofsacredlove.com. That's houseofsacredlove.com. If you've had opportunities to exercise forgiveness and would like to share, leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. If you're listening on YouTube or anywhere in the world, don't forget to click the like, comment, and subscribe. And until we speak again, be the light.